Up to this point, I've thoroughly enjoyed my time exploring Pennsylvania. What I thought would turn out to be a rather boring work trip turned out to be a very enlightening experience. In my previous video, I went deep into Amish country to visit some of the local Amish businesses and events. In this video, I'll be heading deep into Pittsburgh to explore all the city has to offer. I just arrived at my Airbnb here in Pittsburgh, and I have to say this is one of the most incredible Airbnbs I have rented so far. See, I think I always say this, but I really like to book Airbnbs over hotels just because I feel like it really gives you the experience of living in the city more than a hotel does. And you know what? Every time I stay in these Airbnbs, I get really jealous and I wish my house was like this back in San Francisco. All right, first impressions of Pittsburgh. It's a pretty decent city, actually. Quite a bit different than I was expecting, honestly. So I don't know if it's just the area in or if the whole city is like this, but it's just like deserted. There's hardly any people outside walking around the city. And that's generally my impression of Pennsylvania, is like it's not very walkable. I mean, the city certainly is different. You can definitely walk around here and explore the city, I think. At least I hope it's not dangerous at all. So again, you know, I haven't really explored too much of downtown here, but compared to San Francisco, the streets, the sidewalks seem much cleaner. Like, there just doesn't seem to be homeless people at all. Like, I'm sure there's plenty around here somewhere. I just haven't seen them yet. And garbage, relatively garbage free. No needles on the ground like San Francisco, at least not this area. As I walk down deeper into the financial district, still seems great. Look at this. Okay, I'm gonna walk over here and check this out. This building is the UPMC building, and it is quite massive. But I'm really impressed with this blue water. Is the water dyed blue, or is it just like using some lights or something? No, it's definitely dyed blue. Look at that. My goodness, you guys, this city is, you know, I guess anything outside of San Francisco will impress me now. It just feels, you know, so much nicer, even compared to like New York City. Like, the streets just feel clean. I feel safe walking down here. Looks like there's another big city square here. This is called the Mellon Square Park. And got another big fountain over here. Now this is kind of interesting. There's a whole street here. It looks like they're doing some painting on the ground. Can't walk on it yet because it looks like it's still in progress. So I did walk down a little bit further, and I've found where the homeless are kind of hanging out. This area does feel a little bit more sketchy. One of the things that you have to accept when you come and visit American cities is there's a lot of homeless and sometimes sketchy people walking around on the street, and it can give off a little bit of a scary, nervous vibe, you know, if you're not aware of your surroundings, I guess. All right, second day here in Pittsburgh. So I'm about to go on a 3-hour, roughly 5-mile walking tour of Pittsburgh. So yesterday when I walked down through the city, I went down on that side of the street and walked down there. Today I'm gonna go this way. So this building here on the left side of me is the courthouse. I noticed that all around Pennsylvania, you've got sort of this style of architecture. This absolutely massive building right here on the left is the City County building. This is the first stop on the walking tour that they recommended you go check out. So the City County building here in Pittsburgh was built in 1917 and was actually sat abandoned for 50 years before a redevelopment plan in the 1950s. So I've taken a quick detour here. This point wasn't on the walking tour recommendation, however. Pittsburgh doesn't have an official Chinatown, but it does have a few well-known Chinese restaurants. I guess today the only thing that remains of it is this Chinatown Inn, which is a restaurant, I believe. They say this was founded in the 1870s. The website says that they have been serving food, I believe, for 3 generations now. A long time ago, Pittsburgh was really the heart of the steel industry. So you can see a lot of bridges, one over there, one here, and then one across the other side of the bridge over here. So part of the walking tour actually takes you up this incline train up there. We got something kind of like this in Hong Kong, Malaysia. It's the first time seeing one in America. All right, that was a super interesting ride to the top. It's actually really, really slow. The time lapse that I filmed makes it look pretty quick, but it's super slow. Once you get up here, you have a really incredible view of the city down below. I've been taking a lot of detours. I think it's already been maybe like 2 hours out of the 3 hours they said to allocate for this tour. I'm just enjoying all the architecture up here. The houses almost give off somewhat of a European vibe to me. So they say this mountain up here is called Mount Washington. People lived down by the river down below in the beginning, but I guess the coal industry was pretty big here and caused a lot of pollution. So people began moving up here to Mount Washington. I think the European influence comes from the Germans who came up here first, followed by English and Irish. Okay, just arrived at the second incline. This one I'm gonna go back down the mountain and walk back into the city.
It's a cool area, so we should go check it out.
Making my way back into the city, and then I found this looks like a big event out here, food court. Got a lot of food on the right. Let's see. Wow, they even have General Tso's chicken over here. Deep fried Oreos. We have an artist's market here. Looks like a lot of people are showcasing their own work. Oh, I like this high voltage for pyrography. Oh, this stuff is really cool. The books, folded books.
Here and then down there. Okay.
They had these gorgeous dolls. And I thought, well, why don't I get a bunch of wooden dolls, different lengths and maybe some plexiglass ones, and see what kind of action tracks I can place in the air with these objects and try to make my body manipulating them disappear.
You know what's going on?
Let's see if we can get an idea of what he's doing. So this area here is like Pittsburgh Central Square. Now this is not a huge city, so of course, you know, the Central Square is also not that big. I believe this area is called Market Square. This area here is owned by the Pittsburgh Plate Glass Company. And so you can tell that the building is pretty much entirely made of glass. It's almost like looking at a glass castle, the way that they've built the buildings up here. Anyway, after 4 hours of walking, I finally made it back to the city-county building. So that concludes our 5-mile walking tour. I'm gonna head to one other place, the Strip District, but I think this video is getting kind of long, so I'm gonna put that in the next one. So anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Click the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.